This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the speakers.
Welcome to Positively on the Spectrum, our podcast where we put a positive spin on life on the spectrum, finding your village and navigating neurodiversity. We aren't experts, but we're in it together.
We are, absolutely. Something, I don't know about you, something that has maybe not irked is the right word, but something that I always think about is, you have days for everything like International Women's Day and all these sort of things, and then you've got Autism Acceptance Month, Day, whatever it might be. I'm not a big fan of the acceptance part of things. I don't know. I just feel that to accept something, I don't know, it just has a negative connotation to me. I don't know if anybody else agrees, but I just feel like it does. Like, I think awareness is much more positive. Awareness is about learning and growing and inclusion in my mind. And I do think that awareness it's getting better. It's getting better with the likes of social media and just the rise of families that are on the spectrum. But I do think there's still a lot of work to be done. I don't know, what do you think?
So, yes, I was in a shop recently, a toy shop, and for the first time, my son ran up and picked a toy, which was a first for us because normally you take me to a toy shop, we touched on us at Christmas, and he just would draw another run up and down the aisle, then he would actually pick something. So he picked this toy, and it was aimed at a really younger age group than his, but I don't care. Age and stage doesn't bother me. So I was like, right, if that's what you want, we'll get you it. And his sister was getting something as well. And we got to a till, and obviously I had to take it off him for a girl to scan it, and he lost his mind. So I'm like, we're waiting, and it just progressed and progressed and progressed, and he got more frustrated, and then he started banging his head off the bottom of like the till thing, where you get paid. And the problem was that my daughter was buying a pair of skates, and the skates didn't have like the ticket on it with the barcode. So the cashier was trying to sort that out, and it just escalated and escalated and escalated, and I'm just standing there like, just scan a toy and give me it, just scan a toy and give me it. And I just felt as if there was no awareness there of like, I could really diffuse a situation by just scanning it and giving it to the child.
Which you did ask,
and
you were met with no, because you haven't paid for it, kind of thing.
It was just like, we need to sort this out before we can move on. And then I just felt as if it was just one of them moments where you just think a wee bit of training would have went a long way and would have helped diffuse a situation and made me feel a lot less stressed out and him stressed out.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think there's a big surge in businesses and supermarkets and anywhere that's sort of customer service facing, where they're trying to be inclusive, and they might be bringing out sensory packs and earphones for kids walking around, or disability trolleys and things like that. But that is all accommodations, but that's not helpful if you're standing and you feel like you're being judged, someone's rolling their eyes, or that kind of thing. And I do I worked in retail for years before I had my kids, and customer service training is quite in depth. It really is, and it involves things like racial differences, as disability differences, as in physical disabilities, and accommodations for that, and how to speak to people, and I think that there's a massive gap where this could be included. 100% could be included. Just an awareness that there will be families where children don't behave perhaps the age that they look, and just to have a little bit of compassion and a little bit of understanding. Now, I will put my hands up and say I'm very lucky. I've never really experienced anything like that. However, I did have an experience in a large supermarket chain one time, where I was on a really important phone call with my daughter's school, and she was there with me, and she was sat on the floor. She'd actually sat herself on the floor and was looking at some birthday cards, and she was just looking at them and sort of lining them up along the thing. They weren't on the floor. She was sat on the floor, and a woman who worked approached me and was very rude, and sort of said, "What is she doing?" Like that kind of thing. Like it just there was no nice approach to it in any way, shape, or form. And I said, "Oh, she's just kind of." She's just sitting while I'm on this really important phone call, like she's not hurting anybody or anything like that. And it wasn't a nice feeling at all. I would say it probably was like the first time. And I just think she wasn't doing anything wrong. Like, okay, it didn't look like the norm, a child that is like sitting on the floor looking at things, but she wasn't hurting anybody. And just that a little bit of extra awareness, a little bit of extra training, I think would go a really long way.
A bit of common sense.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
lacking massively everywhere. Like
empathy as well, like as like parent to parent as well. I think I don't know.
Human being to human being.
Well, yeah, exactly, and unfortunately, it can be a generational thing.
Mm-hmm. I do find that there's a gap in age, where people are give you more of an opinion than what I remember. Just
You've
like
asked for.
I just like somebody says one day as well when we were out shopping. Oh, she said to him,
Yeah.
"You're too big to be in that pram," and I was just looking at her like, and I thought I could feel her age, and I'm quite a fiery person, and for whatever reason, I chose to come back with, "What age do you think he is?" And she was like, "I don't know, about 4." And I was like, "Well, he's actually 2. He is a big 2, but he does like he's 2." And she was like, "All right." And I'm like, and the buggy that I bought it for the reason of it to meant to grow till like a certain height and age and weight and all that kind of thing. And I thought that would be great if we go theme parks or days out or whatever, that buggy will last. So it's not as if you look huge and this tiny buggy is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And
but again, even if you did, nobody's business.
I know, and I was just like looking at her like, what's it got to do with you?
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And I
like,
don't
it's
know.
all right to look and hinky things because we're just human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But think them, keep your guts shut and keep
Zip
walking.
it. Yeah, I think as well. Perhaps maybe I have experienced people staring and stuff, but I think I just don't even pay attention because
I think you need to switch off because if you don't, you get.
Yeah.
But then it's hard when you're hyper vigilant and you're already assessing the situation anyway.
Yeah.
How I feel like that's the way I am with him. Like even yesterday, we left one shop and went to another shop, and by that point, he was already spiraling. And I went in to get 2 things, and my mum and my daughter was with me, and they were like away looking. And I ended up, I had to just grab the 2 things, and I was shouting all over the shop, like, where are you? Where are you? I'm going to a car. I'll get you to a car. You just take your time. And then I walked down and was met with a queue, and then I had him, and he was, I didn't have a buggy with me because it was a quick nip in and out. And he was screaming, and I'm trying to hold on to him, and he's trying to run out the door in this big long queue, and I'm standing there with 2 things, and I'm like, how much do I really need these things?
Yeah.
And I was raging because I'd already done a shop.
Yeah.
Earlier on that day, and then I come home and I was like, I forgot the 2 things that I really needed to get for. So that was why I like got the things and went to a car. But it was another situation of there was one till open, and there was 10 tills because he counted them. I was kind of at one point, he was, because he's starting to count, and I could see him counting, and I was like, what's he? And then it was the lights because there was one was green and the rest were all red, and he was counting the numbers on the till. And I'm just thinking, how many people have got to join this queue before you shout for somebody else? And then there's like all these people standing round about me stacking shelves, and
and it is
just scream, can somebody use some bread?
And it's that stress level. It just builds and builds, and it doesn't help.
I don't cope with stress very well.
But even if you do, like, it's just it's natural to get to that point.
And you could see other people run about me were kind of like, because he was screaming and kicking off, and they weren't necessarily going, oh my, like he's a bad child. They were just like, whoa, like you couldn't know.
Well, I can tell you now, if that was me and I was in that queue, you would have been straight in front of me and getting served. But not everybody's like that, and I wouldn't. If somebody had anything to say about it, I would have had an answer for it. But that's not always the situation, and and this is the thing. Like, we're not asking for special accommodations or anything like that. Like, we're not asking to be treated differently. No. I do just think back to what I was saying, like, awareness is just so important. At the end of the day, it is it's a hidden disability, and that's why they have the sunflower lanyards and things like that as an indicator, because you don't always see it. And I mean,
It goes back to the whole be kind thing.
yeah, absolutely,
Like,
it does.
regardless of disabilities or anything, it's like just be kind.
Hmm.
Just have a bit of compassion. It's that whole you never know what somebody's going through.
Absolutely,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Even if you're not in the same position as us, it doesn't mean to say you've not woke up that morning and your world came crashing down through
Hmm.
something else, or you're waiting on news for something, and everybody's it's just be kind in
Yeah,
general.
yeah, I agree.
And if that they done that, then that would be a massive help.
Hmm. To
So to
everybody.
everybody,
I mean, I think we're all massively aware of the ways of the world right now and things that are going on in the world, and there's so much doom and gloom. And I think it's really important to yeah, just be kind with yourself though as well. That's a big one.
yeah,
Those around you and yourself, because we are always our biggest critics, especially when it comes to being parents. And
handling situations.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine you walked away from that situation not feeling the best.
No, no, I was annoyed for a long time, but I was also annoyed at myself because I made a poor judgment call
This is what I
on
mean.
the time wise,
Be
like
kind to yourself as well.
as because he was hungry, it was past his dinner time, and I was just like, oh, well, trying to accommodate both kids, and
Hmm. Yeah.
like she wanted that these roller skates, and I was like, right, let's go get them. We'll be 25 minutes, and then that was die.
Yeah.
So then I'm driving down the road going,
Yeah.
then it's all
But here we are the next day.
right, and I know, and everybody's fine and happy, and
Yeah.
he went to bed without toy last night.
Well, that's good.
I know, couldn't get it off him, so that was good.
That's
It's
very
nice
cute.
for him to pick something and actually
Yeah.
run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a nice feeling when that
Hmm.
happens. It's just that sort of extra next step in development and things that we look for. Again, like that's the small wins.
Should just start sending us into places. We'll just stand there, tell people how to behave.
Yeah. I wouldn't have a problem doing that at all.
Could you imagine? Podcast views 0. Era cheeky bandit.
So let us know if you've ever experienced anything like that, or if you've got any tips on how to come out smiling, because it's not always easy. Yeah.
Or if you work in that environment, try using your voice to say,
Mm,
maybe we could do this, or
definitely. Yeah.
give a wee bit of insight into what you've heard or what you've um what's the word I'm looking for?
Experience.
What you've taught yourself.
Yeah.
Because like we're always saying, there's so much information out there, so listen to information and then take it away and use it.
Yeah. Growth is so important.
Mm-hmm.
The minute you stop sort of learning, you stop growing, and the world becomes a not so great place.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, again, we're always here. DMs are always open, comments are monitored, Instagram Positively on the Spectrum, TikTok and YouTube. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
See you.